So first up, we're going to be finishing The Lore of Slay the Princess, a Slay the Princess video essay by Chronos2319. I saw the first half. I still have no idea what the hell's going on, and I'm kind of terrified to see what is going on in the second half, because while they're not spoiling everything, they're giving me a very good idea of exactly what I'm getting into, and what I'm getting into, oh boy, it's like really cutesy art style until it's not cute. It's not cute. It is not cute. Yeah. We'll find out. Very soon. Oh God.
You'll know what to do.
Your body is dead, but you live on. Chapter 3. Chapter 4, Chapter 5, Chapter 7. Oh God, what is going on? Oh.
Clarity.
The moment of clarity.
Clarity, for most, it may be a moment where you finally understand your current state of mind on a situation. For others, it may be a sudden realization. Or for some guys, it may be on December 1st. Either way...
December 1st? What's this have to do with, I mean, assuming Christmas? I have no idea.
You've now reached your moment of clarity. After what may be a week, months, or years,
oh, it actually,
you arrive back...
Oh, it's floating. It's literally floating in empty space with random trees floating in abyss. The pathway floating in abyss. Everything floating in abyss. And the mirror. That mirror that's been there the entire time.
At the cabin, as it floats in hollow space.
Oh.
Every voice has returned to you, all thinking as one on how to get out of the scenario. Specifically,
he
the
never sees
voice
it.
of the cold tends to lead as his voice is unfeeling on opinion. When you enter the cabin,
A
all you
sword?
see is the blade stuck in the dirt. You realize just how long you've been here, as multiple
Take the blade. It's the only way forward. You've already tried everything else. Don't you remember? You have to take the blade.
options are grayed out, and the only option being left being to, well, take the blade. After all, you have tried everything else. But as you reach for the blade, the ground gives way. An empty, dark hole begins to form, in which the blade falls ever so far into. However, deep within the depths, you can see her staring back at you. She blinks closer and closer to you, climbing...
Oh, sorry, I hate those sound effects. I don't know if they're in game. I don't know if it's something he added. That is... Ugh, it's like the bone cracking sound. I can't. I just can't. I have a visceral hatred of that.
Up with different hands.
Oh, there's more than one hand.
Her body like a
Arms or
puppet.
feet. Oh, it's like a puppet?
All you can do is take her hand and let her out until she too is taken by the shifting mound, making for another one of her hearts. Back at the same old cabin in the same old woods as you begin your route again. This time, however, you decide to fight and then immediately give up because, yeah, she's better than you, and what did you expect? You awaken in the new chapter. Welcome to the tower. The cabin is completely changed from the outside it looked, and from the outside it looks like the cabin has always been this. However, the moment you enter, you are greeted by a massive room made of stone brick and a large gate leading to...
Damn. And again, the mirrors and the dagger up on a... Oh. I wonder if the point of the game is to convince you to stop playing the game. Because at that point, that's almost what it feels like they're heading towards.
the staircase. And in place of a table, there's now just a large altar or bookcase. You climb your way up
Pillar?
the altar to reach
Plinth?
the blade. You then make your way down these giant
Whoa.
ass stairs. Like, who made this? Why? What's wrong
Castle
with you?
stairs.
Who hurt you? Why must you give me the pain of the back? Ah! Okay, I think...
Can you imagine slipping on that?
Okay. Oh, wait, no.
He is describing my nightmare. Because I have absolutely slipped down the stairs a few times. You know, you're walking downstairs too fast and you have socks on and it's hot out and Everything is sweaty everywhere. It's like, hey, surfing down the stairs unintentionally. Lovely. Yeah, the fact that I never seriously hurt myself is actually a miracle to me. There's no excuse.
Ow. Everything hurts.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
When you finally tumble your way to the bottom of the stairs, you come face to face with her.
Wait, do you actually fall down the stairs in-game? Also, damn. Very big hands.
The princess is now an 8-foot-tall god chained to a wall. You know, because she just kind of feels like it. She
Yeah.
is transformed as she towers over you, leaving you to feel insignificant and broken in her presence. Her mere power
I mean, I'm getting the distinct impression being broken is one thing you're very good at so far.
radiated within the room as all you can do is feel powerless. She commands you and forces you to your knees. A god in her own right, she would be nearly impossible to defy, but only nearly. You have your blade and try to stand up and shut her out, but she becomes completely oppressing. You have only one chance to show this false god you will not submit to her. To show her you will always defy her wish to the end, as you cut your own throat open with a clean slice. You now awake at the bottom of a mountain as you're waiting at the...
Oh, that's a very tall one, almost out of the screen. I wonder what they're going, because they keep saying at the beginning this is a love story, and every one of these trees is cut off, almost like they're ground down? Huh. And Michael Hamilton played the song of someone falling down the stairs. There's a stair falling down sound? There's actually a sound for that? Oh.
bottom for changes to arrive. The voices argue in your head, the paranoia and broken part of you, the heroic side, all arguing as you stand there debating your actions and what's going on.
Is one of them run away?
Before you feel the ground shake.
What?
The trees move and the earth shifts as a mass emerges from the cabin. The princess is now something more.
It's Cthulhu eating everything. Okay, we have reached Cthulhu. Technically, she's also got out of here.
Something greater. While previously she was a tower of pure power, the strength of a giant now stands before you as she has changed to something more.
With that many eyes, I'm going either Yog Shogoth or a biblically still too pretty and not scary enough to be an angel.
She has become a more apothesized version of herself.
Yeah.
She's become a true godlike entity, or at least as close as she can get to one. The dagger lands beside you, but you know fighting this is pointless, so you embrace your new goddess. And as the narrator senses the end, his voice goes silent as you fill your seat beside her. She then tries to claw her way out of this confining cage of shifting shadows. And as she begins to tear and rip away at this shadow and...
Gonna just take a wild guess here. She gets taken away. Because that does seem like what's going to happen.
fabric, you feel unimaginable pain. Every single rip, every single tear sets your insides ablaze as you feel all of it.
Oh. So you're not the jail keeper, you're the jail. Oh.
And in a moment of desperation, well, you lash out. The shadows go dark. The pain stops. As you open your eyes again to try to look around and see what's going on, you see that the shadows have impaled her.
Wait, there's color? There's actually color in this game outside of just this and occasionally red. Oh! Which also means these are not an empty void being represented by the swirls. There's actually something behind it. That's literally sinew. Oh. Oh, that's kind of fascinating, a little detail like that. And Michael Hamilton mentioned ASDF movie reference, by the way. Also, December is part of the month, referencing a peanut. What?
As she stands there looking sad and longingly at you,
The hands.
you watch as she too is taken by the shifting mound.
What the hell?
She will make for a brand new heart. One of the last
heart
options
for
I'd like
what?
to talk about is one that you've always had, a choice you can always make at anywhere in the story. However, it will
Quitting?
lead to a different ending if you do it at the start. A choice that leads you more to a lot of the main lore, at least in my opinion. To look at the cabin and say, screw that.
So either continue down the path away from the cabin. It's literally walking away.
It's not my problem, and it's someone else's to deal with. As you consistently do this, in defiance of the narrator, you learn that there's an infinite amount of cabins, all on the same hill.
So you're not just doing one route. It's all of them exist all the time. You're just going through each and every one. The fact that they have art of this is kind of absurd. Unless the artist or the person doing this just did a really crazy edit.
All on the same place, all in the same shape. All with the same path that led you here.
But
reality shatters and breaks. With every cabin, there's a new possible reality. And with every new possibility that can form, it can't be held, and reality breaks and shatters before eventually you die, leading you to the stranger. The vast forest that you were once in now is completely walled off and isolated, as
so you can't
now
leave
only have one path forward. As you enter the cavern, you fight the voices in your head. As you can see, an amalgamation.
Oh, that. So everything looks weird. It's all a little out of place. Parts are falling away. It's mixed match tiles, but the only thing that's consistent, and even the table is not quite dimensionally accurate, is the mirror. The mirror, even though it's a little more distorted, is still the most clean object.
Of a cabin with parts and pieces of many other endings, all shifting together into one, thrown together like a bad puzzle. The walls are mixed and matched, as if reality no longer matches with one another.
And the background options I think you don't interact with are all kind of fuzzy and moving, while the table, the knife, I think that even a bit of the windows are moving a bit. The night sky and the mirror are the things that are not moving.
And as if all of reality is spiraling to a singular finite point. And it only worsens as you enter the stairwell, as before you sits a vast empty twist and turning stairs, all leading in random directions.
God damn,
Before
man.
You choose between the three paths, of one on the left, one in the middle, and one on the right.
I'm assuming the joke is they all go to the same place and never go anywhere.
So, obviously, you choose the middle path. I mean, what else would you do? I mean, clearly it's the best option. And as you descend down the staircase, it breaks and branches, with many stairs coming off of what you believe to be the single middle path that you were following. As it begins twisting and turning in untold directions, it makes your head spin. Spirals form as you lose your sense of reality and self, fractures upon fractures.
Okay, I just want to take a second to appreciate the artistic bullshittery here. You have bone and sinew coming down to a point where they overlap into flower petals with nails sticking out of it, where they overlap with almost like shells and spirals leading into chains. It's great how they can have everything meet in the center where they're all kind of is the same thing, but then they all spiral out into their own thing, getting more and more defined as they go.
Fractures.
And I just realized the head over here is a bird's head. Or at least it kind of looks like a bird's head. For the mouse.
Weave themselves across the distant void before eventually everything.
Can I help you?
It was all the different paths, yeah.
No.
No light.
You're there. The princess is now before you, chained to the wall and in darkness. You ask one simple question.
Princess. You can call me Princess, if you'd like.
And she breaks, fracturing off into another personality from one of the many routes you've seen.
At what point do we meet the completed Hearts of All or something? Also, I've been told, same voice actress. Every single voice of her is the same person. The range they have on there is absurd.
Another question.
I don't remember what it was like before I was in this place. Why would I know what happened to you?
Another fracture.
We're probably stuck down here forever, aren't we? There's no way out, and barely a way in. Sometimes I feel like I'm being pulled apart too. It's so terrifying down here. But
And
at
she
least
is because
now
we're
you're
the
not
one pulling
alone,
her apart.
And I'm not alone either.
And on and on and on until there are no options left. And you must be doing.
And every single one has a different expression, some happy, some manic, some scared, some ambivalent. And your hand, just the scale bird hand still.
Everything all at once. As you lunge forward, your reality breaks and shifts and morphs, fading as you feel what is left between you and the princess now shifting and becoming something new. She has become all of herself, all at once molded into something strange, a new body, a new life of death, of fiction and anger, of...
Yep, this artist is very good at drawing some really fucked up shit, man. Sorry, it's the body horror aspect that I just, ugh.
betrayal and hatred of
Too many
love
fingers.
and passion. Forever
Too many
made of
heads.
action
The
and
veins.
reaction, of choice and falsity, of reality and unreality. She has become something true. She has changed into something similar before she too is taken by the shifting mound. The fifth shifting mound is now gone, as with the fifth vessel you bring her is now the last.
I mean, the distinct impression there's so many endings you can get before the game gives you an ending, but there's more that you could pull together, because it seems like he's gone over more than just 5 so far. And Bill Larson, like you said, this is the Zinch dating simulator. Oh, yeah, that definitely feels like it. And Coffee Acorn, you mentioned they did a live stream when the update came out. It's just a composer, male voice, female voice, and writer. I wonder what those sessions would look like. Okay, so now you're going to be an insane knife lady who wants to do crazy shit. Not the same as the previous knife lady who wants to do crazy shit, but very similar, so slightly off, at a right angle, maybe mixed with a little bit of pie. Whether we mean the number or the actual physical element of eating a pie, we'll find out. If you do a good job, we'll get you an actual pie. We'll find out if it's the real one or the numbers later. It seems like that's the level of direction to give to get this level of insanity.
As she begins to evolve into her true form, as you witness her true self and the multiple versions that have led you here. This is the end of the game. Alright, so now that you've been all caught up in the...
Yeah, body horror. All the body horror. What the hell is going on? And the writer also drew this, Acorn? Oh, God.
lore-heavy princesses and what I believe is important, you can now fully understand...
This game is heavily up to interpretation. What I say here is not fact. Please disagree with me in the comments. I would love to hear those theories, ideas, and disagree with me, or that disagree with my own. So it's also an ambiguous ending. So we have an idea and interpretation of what it means, but there's actually not a certainty of it. Oh, dear.
Understand what this game and its general themes are about, or at least what I believe they're about, as these are from my own understanding and my own theories. You are more than welcome to disagree with me, and
in other
honestly,
words,
this game can be
they're
interpreted
just here to
in a lot of
fail
different
everyone.
ways.
Since you're to no mention, I
So,
found
that
Alice.
being said, let's discuss what we know.
We definitely fell in a
First,
rabbit
you
hole.
and the princess are likely both gods, with the princess being the goddess of change and death, and you being the god of reality and choice, known as the Long Quiet. The both of you were created by the narrator, who I'll call the original god, or Echo. The original god had decided the best way to manage his creation / world was to split himself, creating both the Shifting Mound and the Long Quiet to help manage his children and guide them into a better way. However, the two began to fight, and with that, war. And this war was devastating, destroying not only the world, but a majority of all life in the universe as well. The original god knew that he couldn't allow this war to continue, as
I love funny, but you know what I don't love? War. War bad. I have seen this meme so many times. Was not expecting to see it here.
it may very well destroy alternate universes and his other creations. So, as much as he tried, he
What?
couldn't unmake them, so he had to contain them. And
There's
he
a
knew the
big
only
chill.
way to do that was to trap both of them and entomb them within a reality that the Long Quiet believes is real. However, as
When did the name Long Quiet come up? Because he's using that name right now, but has that been used before? Again, my knowledge is literally just from what's been shown so far, but I don't know.
their war began to die down, and as this narrator began to scheme and plan, the Long Quiet and the Shifting Mound began to feel something different. They began to feel something more.
Sorry about killing you so much. Yeah, it didn't take.
The hatred that they once had for each other had begun to shift and change.
Hey, so now that we made up, do you want to go out into the multiverse sometime? Oh my god.
It
I don't
began
even...
to take on passion and love. began to care deeply for one another as they began to try to slowly understand that
Does this imply that the vines were... Oh, because we're seeing from the princess's perspective in this image. But the vines... And his hands covered in the vines, yeah.
their enemies were no longer each other, but instead their creator. As with that, though, the narrator, now fully ready to enact his plan, decided that
What?
with a single move, he would
All these shards of broken glass on the floor. Are they also supposed to be you? Oh, God.
shatter and break both the shifting mound and the long quiet. What he did was he made the long quiet shift into an internal prison of fabric and shadow, made up of their very flesh, as he then cast the different remaining perspectives and broken shards of all of them, of the shifting mound and the long quiet, into the shifting, never-ending quiet and void that.
So we were never actually seeing them because we were looking at him the entire time. And that's why that one point where there was stuff going on beyond it, he felt the tearing pain because they were literally tearing away at him. This wasn't interpretive illustrations of darkness. It was literally their body. That's such a cool aspect. And I think there's something else fucked up going to happen still, right?
This prison was made for. However, in so doing, the original god used up all of his power.
Oh.
And as he did that, well, simply put,
Died?
he felt himself dying.
I need a medic.
He knew he didn't have much longer left, and his power was fading. So in order to make sure that he could watch over this eternal prison, at least in some degree, he created the narrator. The narrator was then made to help convince you upon your journey to try to take out the shifting mound, to try to kill her and permanently guide you into making sure that there was only one god to watch over this world.
But it failed.
So with this, the Echo would sit there and watch, being unable to be a part of whenever the world reset by the Long Quiet's reality, as the Long Quiet believed that the narrator was part of himself, when he wasn't. And since he could not change the narrator because it wasn't part of himself and his reality.
So let me get this straight. It's not even that he is dead. It's that he's making reality believe that he's been part of it, even though he made it, but he didn't make it, so he made it. So the next reality that he didn't make, but will be made by the one that he made, is convinced that he made it because he is him, because he's part of him, but he's not a part of him? Okay, real talk. I can see why there's a lot of discussion about this, and all of my thought process right now is, oh boy, there is a lot going on that I do not understand. I mean, it's cool. I love it. I would like to know what's happening. But I do not understand. I feel like this interpretation is really cool. It's very interesting. But damn, if it's not the most... I bit my tongue. Ow. The most confusing way to possibly interpret it. And it's neat. But also... have you ever heard an explanation and it seems like, are you the one going insane for thinking about this, or is someone else the insane one for thinking about it, but then you believing them when you know it's not real, but that it is actually, and I just don't. What is going on? Also, apparently there's issues with the stream. Yeah, I saw that on my monitoring platform as well. I'm assuming it's Comcast. It probably won't get any better. That said, whenever this goes up normally for everyone, it won't have that. It'll just be the full recording without any interruptions. And Coffee Acorn, you mentioned he didn't cover a lot of paths. Actually, I'll just bring this over here. And endings as well. So there's even more? There's more endings? How big was this game? Like, unironically, how big is it? Because it feels like this is just a tiny little portion of it. I don't know. Okay.
Well, the Echo would just partially understand and remember,
I wish I had
knowing
arms
full
and
well
legs.
that there are resets probably going on, but being unable to stop it.
This world looks kind of strange. Probably fine.
So he tried to keep the long quiet on track no matter what reality or no matter what loop we saw. And so the first loop was created. With this time passing over and over again. The long quiet endlessly repeating the path and choices they were fated to make over and over again until eventually forgetting. As reality is warped over and over again, the godhood that the long quiet still had control over, the reality of his cage, for simply put, the long quiet justifying its existence with the premise of I think, therefore it is. Simply put, because I know that was complicated.
Trying hard to legit comprehend this myself as it's complicated. Yeah. And according to MI, the amount of endings that are not covered is way, way, way more. Yeah, I get that impression. Oh, and Kublik, when am I going to upload the first part? Probably next week. I'm going to be at a convention in Chantilly next week, so there's going to be a lot more videos just coming out to cover for that. Also, no stream next week because I'll be at a convention in Chantilly. It's a Comic-Con, and it's probably going to have at least 10,000 people out there around that amount, so yeah.
The idea behind this is that the long quiet had made a cage, and in this cage it had complete control over everything except the narrator, for it could not change the original god. So with that, it would then alter and change reality over and over again based on its beliefs and choices.
Okay, maybe it's just because I've been in West Virginia, but it kind of looks like a really weird version of the Mothman. And yeah, I've seen the Mothman made to look this way, which is less moth and more owl person. I don't know why, but I've seen a lot of people draw it that way.
These choices would affect not only the princess and yourself, but would also let you remember different ideas and perspectives.
The more you go through it, the more you know.
Trying to kill her or save her over and over again. As time passes endlessly and endlessly and endlessly until eventually we get to the point in the game. Now, we don't know how many loops had passed by the time that the point in the game takes place, but we know it's been long enough that the Echo himself has begun to fade, and his power is significantly less than what it once was.
So what you're playing is not actually trying to find an ending, it's trying to wear the narrator down. Very weird, but is there a defined characteristics? Because I know there was the one point where the narrator offed himself, but is that the point that mattered?
Itself, it's just an endless loop, and while this loop is endless, sound within the loop is not and is finite. As the echo fades away, you begin to see what we see in the game as things begin to change.
It loses definition. Okay, I'm going to be completely upfront. One, if the game started looking like this, I'd be like, what is going on? But we've seen the quality they can draw, so I'm actually impressed that an artist could intentionally fuck up their writing their drawing to be exactly what it should be, but look as if someone who doesn't know how to draw made it. Also, this is still better than anything I can do, so I really have no point to say shit about this. Yeah.
As time passes over and over again, the long quiet with each loop, without realizing, puts the shifting mound back together again with nothingness, and each time the princess is killed with a small voice in the back of their mind, understanding that they have to take control and reset the loop. With each loop reset, the shifting mound is remade and reshaped. At first, it's just an atom, and then a molecule, and then the change begins to occur over and over again within the long quiet, as choices...
So because you believe that you had to kill her, even when you choose not to, you're literally the one because you believe reality is a world where you kill her. Because the echo made you believe that. And if you're reality, you do what you think is real. And when you do it unintentionally, it happens without you knowing you could do it. Oh, man. There's a lot of going on right now.
Begin to appear more and more. She whispers into the ear of the long quiet as the shifting mound does, trying to make sure that they understand that this reality isn't real and that they can let us go, to be free, to step into a different realm, to finally make choices.
Seize freedom. Heavy breathing intensifies. Also, I've seen that kitty. That kitty is cute.
Is their own. This specifically can be seen in the fact that all choices are highlighted within the background of the long quiet. with the shifting mounts influence, aka the stuff that's been grayed out. She tries to push you onto a path that she knows will free you and give her a new perspective so she can gain more knowledge to help free you further.
So it's not that she is being trapped by the shifting mound, it's that she's trying to change things and experience as many changes as possible, because eventually you might change because she's influenced you as the change god. And that's why it's a Zinchian dating simulator, because you're literally playing with the god of change to get out of a puzzle of your own making. Because you're in a very orderly, self-imposed prison.
The player is now in control of the godhood that the Long Quiet has. You are the true change that the shifting mound had created and tried to whisper within and form within the Long Quiet. You, the player, make and form what this world will become. You are the one who influences reality and choice, for it was always you. Because of that, it is my personal belief that the true ending of the game is the one where after you argue with the shifting mound, a voice returns to you. A single voice. The voice of the hero now becomes your hero, as he takes you to the center of the shifting mound as you talk to her true self.
Oh, wait, you can actually talk to a true self. And it's right after you talk to the mount. Oh. Explore. I don't want to be a god. Explore. Are you the same as you are out there? What if we just leave? I think the only thing left for us to do here is leave. Wait, there's two different leave options, but they're the same? Oh. And Siren, you mentioned, I'm just going to pull this up here. We need fan art of Airier's mascot fighting the Comcast mascot. Wait, Comcast has a mascot? I thought it was just an antenna with no signal. I would if I did, but I don't. Yeah, if I art, I would definitely do that as well. That sounds awesome. But I don't art, so yeah.
No. I feel like I'm myself again.
But what does that mean?
Honestly, me neither.
Could they give up godhood?
Do you know where this cabin is? Because I don't. I don't even know what's supposed to be outside other than us. What would even happen if we leave? What would that even mean?
What? I know there is a voice for the player, but I don't actually remember if I've ever heard it at any time. Huh. Take her hand in yours. So there's the option just act, and then, I don't know, but I've always wanted to leave with you. I just didn't like being a god. I want to walk through that cabin door, and we are just you and me. Not knowing what's in it means why I want it. We know everything out there, but we don't know this. I want to.
I want that too.
Aw.
I think I'm gonna stay right here. Whatever you're doing right now, wherever you're going, it feels like it's for just the
And that's what it means by the player voice. We have the options in our own head, what we say out loud. But the only voice for the character we have are the voices in his head showing his shattered psyche. The voices we collect. Okay, now I get it. I got confused because the echo, the narrator being a distinct person versus the voice of the hero and all the other shattered voices, which were actually him.
two of you. Yeah, I'm not sure I'll be alone for too long anyways. The others are still around here somewhere.
Others?
I'll find them.
Leave with the princess. Please don't tell me this follows by, and then she was grabbed by the shifting mound. Follows you together, leave the basement behind for the last time. It's quiet as you ascend, a comfortable silence filling the space that used to be flooded with violence and words of noisy thoughts. But there is an energy in the silence, electricity, the anticipation of the unknown. At the top of the stairs, the princess stalls, eyes fixed on the cabin door. You can see attention seize her. She's unsure herself for the first time in a long time in her short existence. She has no part to play anymore, and she knows this, yet she still is. And then she crosses the door to the outside. You follow her confident steps, but...
This is it. I have no idea what it's going to be like out there.
Why do I feel
Not
it's going to
that
go
I'm
bad
scared
still?
or anything. It's exciting, really. Anything could happen. And if it's bad, then it won't be bad. Not with you. I love you too. but I'm trying not to be sappy about it. Don't make
Yeah.
me emotional.
Sorry, that got me. I almost thought that we were actually seeing her taken by the hand right away, but this all... Wait, this is the bottom of the hands. This is from her perspective. All the different versions of her.
You won't.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end
Is the ending in game, or is this the interpretation being put forward by the video we're watching? What the hell is going on?
if you don't,
It's getting faster as they go.
Who's there?
Okay, seriously, the art style is so distinct. I wonder if this artist has done just actual paintings or something.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
More chains on that one.
Are you scared of me? Because you should be. And we're going to die together.
Gotta change, and everything she does changes every time. We're the god of reality, so we always set it back.
He wants us to kill each other.
Finally! This is the hole I felt in my heart!
Seeing from her perspective, the monster coming for her.
Finally leaving here together. And all we had to do was trust each other. It wasn't easy, but I'm glad we finally could. She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
One thing I'd also like to add here is one of the many themes that consist within Slay the Princess. Slay the Princess is a fascinating game that explores a lot of different philosophies and ideas. But one of the main things that helps it just tell its story is the idea of themes and abuse in relationships and how toxic things can be, and how until someone's the greater person and steps up, this abuse and cycle will never end. This can be seen a lot throughout the different endings of the game, as you could see that a lot of the times you'll either simply put hurt each other until eventually one of you decides to take that final step. And that hatred that you had, that disdain as the cycle continued over and over again, falls away, and you turn to something different, something more. As with all things, eventually it ends. And
So it's literally the story about an abusive godly relationship. Damn. And like all the hair around her, but it's all versions of her hair in the multi-headed aspect, multi-arms. And then she's in literally different places, and some of her other bodies are looking at you. God damn. This art style is so freaking distinct, man.
it's beautiful in the way that it ends. I mean, hell else.
Oh shit, you actually get out.
And with that, I'd like to thank you all.
No, what the hell did that? What? Oh! You actually get to see the sky. Or is this something they edited in?
Hell else would it? And with that, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching my video, and I appreciate you for sticking around this long and seeing my own different
Dude.
takes and ideas on this magnificent game.
Black Tabby
And to Black
Games
Tabby
made
Games,
this.
if you're
Holy
watching this,
shit.
I want you to know that please understand that when I played this game for the first time, it was absolutely life-changing, and I
had no idea I was getting into on this one. And frankly, I still feel like, even though I've literally had it explained to me, I don't understand what I'm looking at because there's so much going on. And everyone in chat right now live is telling me explicitly, there is more. This is not everything. There are so many other routes and aspects, and this is an ending, and I've been told there's a lot more endings. But is it an ending or an ending of a route, but not the actual ending of the game? I don't just... And I'm being told by Alex that it's a black hole. I don't know. I really don't know. This is one of those games where even though I've had the ending told to me, I kind of might play it someday, is what I would say if I wasn't an absolute coward. And there's a lot of themes in here that I'm way too cowardly to play. But it is fascinating. Ugh. I love this video. I like how they're getting into it. I like how they're literally able to somehow tell you everything without telling you anything. You're getting all the information. You're getting exactly what you need to know to how to understand Slay the Princess. But you still have so much ambiguity that this is an interpretation of the ending, maybe not the only one. I can see someone else taking a very different look at this and coming to a very different conclusion that this isn't a beautiful game. It's a horrible game that just starts the soundtrack in my head's everywhere, starts the process all over again, leading to this being necessary from some other way. I don't know, but I could easily see someone reaching that conclusion. It's kind of fascinating, man. Basically what I'm saying is, if you haven't already, there's a link below to Kronos' video. Hit it up. This is really good. Go down there, leave a like, subscribe to this guy, hit up the video, watch it. Because there's definitely things I miss out due to the art freaking me out because I am a coward, and what the hell, man, is a very accurate thing to almost anything in this game. Yeah. So again, links, hit them up. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.